Hey guys, it's Kelly Gardner, your Radiance Coach from yourradiantsoul.com. I wanted to hop on today and talk a little bit about a theme that's been popping up in the last week in a lot of the work that I've been doing in the world of yoga therapy, mental health therapy, coaching. In all of these roles, I see people who often feel very stuck. And so I wanted to just talk about that theme here for a few moments. I know that when we start to feel stuck, we can experience a lot of different emotions, a lot of different thoughts. Some of that may feel like hopelessness, that things can never change. Sometimes we may feel powerless to know how to change or to be able to change at all. And so I just wanted to address feeling stuck and encourage you to first just start to become aware of patterns. Patterns in thinking, patterns in behaving, patterns in allowing ourselves to feel what we feel. We have to become aware. If we're not aware, then we can't do anything to change it. So once we become aware of patterns in how we're living, how we're thinking, how we're processing, how we're coping, then we can change things if we choose to. But we really do have to also be brave enough to recognize how we may be keeping ourselves stuck. Things that we may be doing, ways that we may be living that are keeping ourselves stuck. Sometimes those patterns come out of fear. Sometimes those patterns come out of just what we know and not knowing any other way to do things. But awareness is the first step. So once we're aware of what we're doing, then we can change it. Some of the thinking patterns that may tend to keep us stuck can be the stories that we tell ourselves. When we don't know the end of the story, we just make it up. And so we can assume things and then we move forward as if our assumptions are facts and they're true, and that can create other problems. Sometimes those assumptions are about ourselves or about how others may respond to us or think about us or see us. And so we can really keep ourselves stuck in a major way when the stories that we tell ourselves are stories that we may have made up, things that we've assumed, and when they're negative stories, negative thoughts, negative patterns. Another way in our minds that we can tend to keep ourselves stuck is when we doubt ourselves, when we start to question our ability to ever change, to ever move forward. And so sometimes talking to someone else, seeing someone else's view, learning about ourselves can help with that as well. And then finally, procrastination can be a way that we keep ourselves stuck. It's often a presentation of fear of failure. And so we can put things off, we can blow things up in our heads, we can make things seem way bigger than they really are. In our own minds, and that can really tend to keep us stuck as well. It's helpful if we can also start to observe patterns in our behaviors. So what we're doing every day that may keep us stuck. These are those things that we say, I know I should do it, but I don't. I know I should go to bed earlier, but I don't. I know I shouldn't eat late, but I do. I know I shouldn't drink that or eat that, or I know I should exercise, but I don't. All of those behavioral patterns that we tend to kind of get stuck in that could help us feel a lot better and actually move forward if we could take a baby step in that change. In a lot of these things, if we have someone else involved, if we're working with a group that's doing the same thing, if we have an accountability partner, it's going to be a lot easier for us to change if we don't feel isolated, if we don't feel alone. So reaching out and finding someone else to do the work with can be really helpful as well. We also want to recognize how we are numbing. Numbing is a theme that I teach a lot in the world of addiction and recovery, but also in the world of trying to deal with pain and trauma. And we all numb in some way. We all use different things to numb. It's okay if you think, oh my gosh, I do numb out. When numbing becomes the norm, that's when it becomes a problem. What we resist persists. So we want to try to get to a point where we can allow ourselves to feel whatever we feel. There is going to be pain in our lives. It doesn't mean we have to be in pain all of the time, but we do want to allow ourselves to feel into whatever we feel so that it will go away. When we push things down, when we numb out, when we try not to feel things, it just builds up. We're just building it up behind that dam, and we're just going to have to feel it at some point. The dam is going to break. Another thing we want to look at if we're talking about what's keeping us stuck is what beliefs we have about ourselves that may need to change. So we can have beliefs that were formed years and years ago that really don't even apply anymore. So again, this is going to take a lot of courage. We've got to take a really honest look at how we're living our life, how we're seeing ourselves, what we believe about ourselves and our ability to change that may be keeping us stuck. Another thing that can keep us stuck is when we live our lives in a place of trying to fit into what other people want us to be, who other people want us to be, rather than really living into our own authenticity and being who we want to be. And so that can become a prison. And we can spend years and years and even our entire life trying to be who other people want us to be and live our entire life feeling really stuck in that way as well. And finally, we also want to look at if we feel stuck because we're waiting on other people or outside things to change our lives for us. If we're just sitting back and waiting for somebody else to do the work, that may keep us stuck as well. It's an inside job. We've got to be willing to make the commitment to do the work, to put in the effort so that we can move forward. So my question to you is, who do you want to be? And how would that person that you really want to be, how would they act? How would they move forward? How would that ideal version of you handle stress and handle pain and handle your life? And would that person that you want to become be brave enough to look at all of this? Would that person that you want to become make changes and do different things? We don't have to change everything all at once. In fact, I encourage you to take little tiny baby steps. Pick one thing and start with that. I would love to chat with you if you feel like you need help, if you need somebody to talk to about this, if you would like an accountability partner. I also lead online courses of people changing their lives, and so you can join a group of people. So reach out, and I would be happy to chat with you. But go ahead and maybe give yourself permission to start looking at how are the ways I'm keeping myself stuck in my mind, in my body, in my emotions, in my life, and what's one little thing I can do to change, and who's somebody I can talk to, reach out to, so that I have somebody else accountable with me in trying to change this. So yeah, that's it. All right. Thanks for checking it out. Please share this with your friends. Check out yourradiantsoul.com and reach out, message me. I'm happy to chat with you. All right. See you soon.